Today I'm going to show you a super cheap and easy way to monitor crankcase pressure on your vehicle with a spare oil cap and a differential pressure gauge.
Shout out to Austin from Wounded Latin Racing who sent me this oil cap for this testing.
So the drill bit needed for a 1/8 NPT tap is the size Q drill bit, but we're going to work our way up to that. Sent the tap pretty deep through there. Oh yeah, that's plenty of threads. This will look cleaner with the 90. Now that the cap is tapped and it can read the crankcase pressure from the valve cover, go ahead and put it on. And then we can strategically kind of run this line so it doesn't get crushed by the hood or anything. Now I can feed it through the window and across the dash over here to my little mount. We got the differential pressure gauge rigged up here, and this lower section right here is the one that will be reading in negative, aka vacuum. Now the measurements I'm currently using are PSI because the PSI is 2 decimal places, and that was a finer resolution than any of the other measurements available on this unit. So right now I am on the completely stock map on my Civic Type R, and the PCV system should be working as optimal as possible, and under wide open throttle we should see a slight vacuum on the crankcase system. So let's do a little wide open hit. Alright, we'll give it a downshift and a hit.
Okay, let's take a look at the data for a second. So if you look at the gauge, it actually says, you can see that little dash, negative 0.26 PSI. So this is currently in vacuum, which is great.
We want to see that the PCV system is pulling a slight vacuum under wide open throttle. Okay, so now that we've done a hit on the stock map, we're going to flash over to my JST performance tune, which makes roughly 400 torque and 350 horsepower, which is definitely going to up cylinder pressure. I do have the battery on a 12-volt tender, so the car does not die and brick the ECU during the reflash. So on my access port, I can go to tune, change ECU map, and right now you see I'm on the stage 01, which is the stock map, and we're gonna go to Bailey IPOC JST Custom Tune 3. 10 amp charger, we got that going. And it's going to start the process, and it takes roughly 5 to 10 minutes. Now what should happen on our next wide open hit, since we have upped the power and it's making more cylinder pressure, we should also see more crankcase pressure. So instead of reading a negative PSI on the differential pressure gauge, we actually just see a positive PSI, and we'll see how that goes. Unless the Honda Type R has just built a completely badass PCV system that has accounted that people like me are going to tune the car and make more power, it could still potentially pull a slight vacuum, which would be extremely impressive. All right, it is finished reflashing the map. We can go ahead and turn off the car. Let's crank her back on. All right, so we're gonna do another hit. Downshift, downshift. It's still negative. That's fucking impressive. Holy shit. Wow, that's nuts. Okay, I can show you guys the gauge now. So this very top one is the positive, but it will still show a negative sign under wide open throttle.
So just to explain it a little bit, there is 2 ports on the top of this differential pressure gauge. The right port in this picture is supposed to be the vacuum side, and the left side is supposed to be the pressure side. But it doesn't matter whatever reading you are. If it's negative or positive, it will show on either port. So since we're using the left side this time, the actual reading is on the very top line. And if you can see, there is a little dash, negative 0.24 PSI. So even though we're making way much more torque and way much more power than a stock setup on my Civic Type R, the PCE system is still so good, it's pulling a slight vacuum under wide open throttle, which is badass.
Monitoring crankcase pressure is one of the most overlooked pieces of data when modifying your performance vehicle, especially if you are on a built engine and or making more power than stock on your stock engine. Monitoring crankcase pressure can tell you how healthy your engine currently is, if your rings are worn, or even if you have a cracked ringland. This differential pressure gauge was about $35–40 on Amazon. I'll drop a link in the description down below for you if you want to try it out. Between the gauge, some hose, and a spare oil cap, you can probably monitor crankcase pressure for around $50 to $70 on your setup. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, drop a like or drop a comment down below, and subscribe for future videos. Y'all have a good one now. Stay boosted. Peace out.